You ready? Hey mommies, welcome to the Power Room Show.
I'm Miriam.
And I'm Lachey, aka Shay.
Hey.
And today's topic is single mother with a special needs child. Whoa. Now being a single mom is already a job.
Yeah.
When you have and I don't really like to say special needs, I like to say special abilities.
Right.
Because I don't like to make a child feel like they're just such the oddball out. You know what I mean? So a single mother with a child with special abilities. You know, you got to give a little bit more extra care, 10, 11 care for your child, you know?
That's great. I like that.
So before we get started though, let's do a little check-in moment. Mary, you so funny. Okay, so it's my check-in moment, right? So my check-in moment, or actually no, I have a Woman Crush Wednesday.
Okay.
So my Woman Crush Wednesday is Huda. I think it's Colleen or oh Lord, forgive me. Her name is Huda, but she is the CEO and founder of Huda Beauty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's they live right now in Dubai, and she does her business out of Dubai.
Nice.
But I love her business, and I watch her on Facebook TV.
Okay.
And it basically just shows like the ins and out how she built her brand from Instagram.
Oh wow.
So she started on Instagram doing like makeup tutorials, and then after that she created her own eyeliner, then it went to lip liner, and then went to all this other stuff. Now she's like a boss. Like she's has her big business in Dubai. She's coming out to the US, and she's going to LA, and she's doing a lot of things. But I love to see how businesses grind from the bottom up.
Yes.
And because since Mom Talk Network is like grinding from the bottom up, I just love to see the behind the scenes of how everything comes together.
Yes.
So when I watch her, like after I'm writing and doing things, I just like to watch her for like my little guilty pleasure to like, you know, that's gonna be me one day. You know? Exactly. Yeah. So that's my girl. Hey Huda.
Hey.
I'll make sure I tag her in this show.
Right. Okay. And I love that because it shows that we in a time where you can be successful no matter where you are. If you put your mind to it, you know how to network, you can be in another country. You know what I mean? And reach people here, and then just you plant that seed in there.
And I love it because she's for, you know, ethnic women, for women of color, and things like that.
Yeah,
and she her last episode she was on Vogue.
Oh nice.
Vogue. I want to say Arabia.
Okay.
And she killed it. Her and her daughter killed it. So I just love to see just all of that, the beginning stages of a great business.
I know that's right. All right. We're getting right into it.
Okay.
So our wonderful guest today.
Right. Okay. So our wonderful guest is Susanna Lovell. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes.
But I'm going to give you a little bit of background on her. And forgive me, I'm on my cell phone, but it's okay.
It's all good.
Because y'all still love us.
Yes,
okay?
You guys too.
You guys still love us. But Susanna Peace Lovell received her BA from UC Berkeley and is a certified professional life coach, an advocate dedicated to the health and wellness of special needs families everywhere. Her own daughter, Arizona, has multiple challenges and diagnoses, including autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, anxiety, and myriad food allergies. On her journey of navigating through the worry and heartbreak of raising a special needs child, Susanna found her true life calling. So she's like an advocate for everyone out there. So watch out for her because y'all might see her soon.
Coming. Yeah, she got something to say.
To help other parents find and realize joy and passion in their own lives. It is a gift to realize that your child's potential doesn't have any limits, and that's what I love about her. Like, she's gonna break barriers and show you, like, yes, your child might have special needs, but it's no limit to your child. That's right. But to realize her own possibilities are also unlimited is a tremendous breakthrough not to be missed. Susanna can help you unleash this potential within starting soaring in your own life.
I love it. That sounds so great. I love it.
That's amazing vibe.
Yes.
So, no further ado, let's welcome our first guest, Susanna Lovell.
Hi, my name is Susanna Lovell. I'm a life coach for special needs families. I am also the mother of a teenage daughter on the autism spectrum. My life's passion is to help other special needs families like myself find joy and purpose in their own lives.
Susanna, welcome to the Powder Room Show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. And so we wanted to just get right into it. So how did you first find out about your daughter, Arizona's, her special needs?
So this is interesting, and I love, Lachey, what you said in the beginning of the show about special needs. Can we maybe have a different word for it? Because it really is just a different way for a child to be. So she actually started telling me a couple of years ago, Mommy, you know what? I don't think I have special needs. I have special abilities.
Oh, wow.
So she said that. So when you said that this morning, I was like, exactly, spot on. So I guess when I first realized something was different about my child, she was around 1.5 or 2. And so the things that, sort of the behaviors, the things that she was exhibiting just didn't seem like a neurotypically developing child.
Okay.
And she was my first child, and my only child, so I didn't really know what to compare it to other than the fact that, I have a lot of siblings. I was raised with a lot of people around me. I have siblings who have children and had children already at that point. So that was sort of my touch point of, child development. I never really had to pay attention to it so much. But one of my sisters said to me when Arizona was about 1.5 or 2, maybe right around 2, she said, Susanna, there is something different about Arizona, and I don't know what that is. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing or a bad thing or something's wrong, but there's just something different about your child. And she was a teacher. She had a couple of kids of her own. And so I said, oh, okay, so what should I do, But as soon as she said that to me, I knew, like, deep down, she was right. There was something different about my child. And so that really was the start of the journey of me trying to understand this different kind of child. And so the first thing I did was call my pediatrician. Okay. And then from there, catapults into other professionals and assessors who were able to finally diagnose Arizona at the age of 2.5 with autism. Okay. Yes. So she is on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I can imagine that as a mother, like that news is like the confirmation from your sister, being that she was a teacher, and then you had already kind of suspected a little things were different. That feeling as a mother is kind of like, wow, you don't think you'll ever hear that.
No, it was not expected at all. It was not the vision I had it was not the plan I had for my life.
Right.
My daughter started off really early on with so many challenges with regard to food allergies. So I thought that was going to be my challenge as a parent. I was like, oh, all right.
I can handle that.
So I have the kid with allergies. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll just have to deal with that. And then it just became so much more than that.
Okay. Wow. So you pretty much told us what her disability was. Can you kind of explain and give our viewers who don't know what ADHD is a little bit of information of what that is?
Yes. So Arizona again has sort of myriad challenges and fun side dishes that go along with autism. One of which is ADHD, also anxiety. Her food allergies is a separate challenge, but that's part of her disability. So autism spectrum disorder is really just a way in which to describe an individual or child's brain that is not sort of neurotypically developing. So the way that she processes information, so whether it be sound, sight, touch, all of that, is different from how normally developing children think. So the way that she sees the world and the way that she takes in information and then the way that she puts that information back out is in a different way. And so her brain just works differently. than others, and she's had to, we live in this world, right, where there are all of these rules and regulations and structures and schedules, and this is how things are supposed to be, and that's not innate to her and the way that her brain works. So she's had to learn how to be in this world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a interesting way of putting it. I've never heard it that way.
Yes, and I have to learn how to be her guide without knowing exactly what it's like being
her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're a super mom in a sense.
I think so.
Well, I mean, you have to be because
there's no choice. What are you gonna do?
Like you said, you're not in her shoes, so you don't know how she's thinking, how she's feeling, or how she's processing. So you have to kind of go on a whim to say, or try to guide her into doing the way that it's supposed to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
To help her thrive. But in a sense, it might be actually, and one thing I love about kids with the special abilities, they teach you a lot of things that it makes you kind of put a mirror to yourself, but also it makes you think outside of the box, and you're like, wow. Or they'll make a certain point, and you're like, whoa, okay, I didn't look at it that way. And they're so literal.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay.
Right.
Okay, I didn't think of it that way.
No filter. You never have to think.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, you never have to think about what they're thinking because it just
comes out.
If they're verbal, or maybe they'll express in a different way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, that's wonderful.
Transparency at its finest.
At its finest.
I call it truth serum. I'm like, truth serum.
I love it. Yeah.
So when she has
not
a moment,
lie.
she said, truth serum.
She cannot lie. She actually does not know how to do that.
See,
that's funny you said that because my best friend daughter is autistic, her youngest, and that's one thing we talked about. She confronted her about something she thought she did. She's like, Mom, I didn't do it. But she was like, kids with autism do not lie. They just tell the truth. She said, and it's to the point where it's like, kind of reel it in. I'm a child. You're telling too much of the truth.
You don't have to tell everybody everything about how you feel about that
and you
person.
laugh about, because it's like, okay, I can give a good example. It's this guy at our church, and they used to call it a midget, but now it's called little people. So you know how we switched the name.
Shout out to little people
and
around the world.
she went up to the little man and she says, "Hey, baby man, how are you?"
So sweet.
So and her mom was like, "Get over here." That's a man. He's not a baby man. He's a baby man, Mom. He's little. He's a baby man. So it's like, okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that information.
It's
just so funny
but the purity behind that intention is.
And he wasn't offended at all. He just laughed. He was like, "She's right." Like, I'm a little man, you know.
So sweet. I think that's so sweet. Yes.
So you were once married.
I was.
Okay. So how did your daughter, Arizona, I love that name, by the way.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful,
Thank you so
such a
much.
refreshing name.
Yeah.
How did her special abilities affect your marriage at all? And if so, were they negative, positive?
Yes. Well, but my first answer to that question is I am no longer married. So there's that. Number two, I would say that, and this is just sort of factual, in the special needs world, I think there's an estimate that probably 75 to 80% of special needs families end up in divorce.
Wow.
And the reason why that number is probably not higher is because it's so expensive to take care of a child with special needs that to then break that into two different household, costs and bills is too much to bear, so that a lot of times families just end up staying together, miserably so, just so that they can, afford and support their child who has, needs and challenges. So I would say for sure in my marriage specifically, it was definitely a stressor.
Wow.
Definitely a stressor. It was really difficult early on for my ex-husband to connect with our child. Now he, I was a stay-at-home mom. He worked a lot, and so I was with her, every day, all day, sort of connecting whenever I could, even if it was just like half a second a day, trying to get into her world. And so because I was with her all the time, I was able to have moments where it felt worth it, and I think that he had a hard time in the beginning because it was so difficult to connect with her.
Okay.
And so he just, wasn't able to make that.
And as a mom,
yeah.
did you feel like, because a lot of times in the families being married, when coming from two different roles and you guys are bringing your work together and you're raising your child, did you feel as a mom responsible? Did you guys blame each other? Did you guys blame yourselves for her being the way she is, and then blaming her for the reason why the marriage didn't work? Was there any moments of that?
There was definitely a lot of, I would say there was a lot more self-blame, from, inwardly feeling like, well, we created this child together. So what did we do? What did I eat while I was pregnant? All of these things, right? I'm just like wondering, like, how, first of all, when I had Arizona, I did not know one other family who had a child with autism or any special needs. Like, I really, growing up here and there, you kind of, know people who have somebody, but I didn't. And I actually was like one of the first of my girlfriends to have a baby. So I didn't even have lots of friends who had children then. So there was nothing, I had nothing to grasp or hold on to. I had zero support. So from other moms at that time. So I will say though that to answer the second part of your question, we never did blame Arizona for our, inability to stay married successfully. And in fact, today I will say, like, I have a really amazing relationship with her father. And we co-parent very cohesively. I mean, we are never meant to be married,
We always find out after the fact. Trust me, I've been there.
I mean, it's just like
never been married.
And I love him. Like, I adore him. He is one of the most important people in my life. And, we are better as co-parents to our child.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
And once you come to that realization, though,
I
think your child thrives better. Because for me, when I came to that realization in my own experience, like, you know what, we're awesome co-parenters.
Yes.
And that's a word.
Yes.
But this marriage thing is just, no. And I found that we can, which is kind of weird, I guess, being apart and not being in the same home, you can talk, you have a little bit more patience with each other and things like that.
Yes.
And, because I don't see you every day. It's like, oh, hey, how were you? How was your day?
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
And guess what? And this is what I always tell my girlfriends too. I'm like, and then I can always hang up the phone.
Hello.
If I'm done.
Yeah.
Or if I'm having a big feeling
I
about
don't
something.
have to go to bed with you when I'm mad. You know what I mean? So you get the space is definitely needed. So what proactive measures are you taking to prepare Arizona for adulthood?
So that is a great ongoing question. And as things are shifting and changing in her life, I'm also learning how to support her best. And she is now 13 years old. And I learned early on, even as I was going through all the therapies with her and trying to figure out how to best support her in this world, that really the greatest gift that I could give her was to instill within her this idea around her, abilities as being something as, like a gift from God. Like, you are a gift from God. You're a child of God. You were created whole, perfect, and complete, exactly as you are. And so I wanted to instill that first. The second thing that I think is really important, and this is something I practice all the time with her, is allowing her to do as much as she possibly can on her own.
Oh, that's good.
So if there's something that she can do, then I'm gonna need to take a pause and let her do that. It's very easy for me to, let me just make the breakfast, let me just hurry up and make her snacks. It's gonna take me 5 seconds, as opposed to 20 minutes of Arizona going to get a plate. But I'm trying to teach her life skills, because at the end of the day, she's going to have to do this and take care of herself on her own. So life skills, and then instilling, as much as I can, confidence and self-advocacy in her.
Oh, that's good. Then we forget too, even the normal development, having sex and things like that.
Oh boy.
And I'm just like,
I don't want to think about that.
I actually wasn't thinking about that. Thank you.
But she's a teenager.
Yeah, you're going to have those conversations.
She did. Listen, literal. she did just get her period, right? And we've been planning for it. She's 13, right? I've been prepping her for 2 years, and here's what happens, and all this books, visuals, all of that.
Awesome.
And she said, Mama, guess what? I said, what? When she got her first period, like 2 months ago, whatever. She was like, now you can be a grandma. And I said, because she's so literal.
Yeah. Yes.
So what happens is, when you get your period, then I can get pregnant and all. And I was like, actually, so and we're starting to have conversations because again, it's just that literal.
Great job,
Girl, I would have had a heart attack. Her convulsions all.
Things like this, like things that come out of her mouth like this, happen like 17 times a day. So I was just
truth serum. Truth serum. That is so
that
funny.
is technically accurate, and there are a lot of things that need to happen first before that would happen. Mm-hmm. We can talk about those in time, but anyway, that was a big one.
Yeah.
I had to call her down for that one. I was like, guess what?
He's like, oh.
You might be a grandpa.
You are not the father.
Oh,
I
my
love it.
goodness.
Oh my
I could
gosh.
not.
So I'm just sitting here and enjoying our conversation. Speaking about your daughter, I've learned so much, and just the patience that it requires just as a normal parent plus, I just really commend you and just in educating us and just sharing everything, your journey and everything with her. And now that we're here, I would like to ask you, what is like your end goal as a parent?
Yes. Well, I think it goes back to what we were sharing about prepping her for, adulthood and the real world. And that is, if at the end of the day, if I raise a child who can advocate for herself, who can speak up, who can, stay as authentic and true to who she is as much as possible without feeling ashamed, without feeling, like people are looking at her crazy, with confidence, and she is able to be self-supporting in many ways, I'm good. My job is done. So I don't have these sort of crazy aspirations for her to I want her to get married and have 5 kids and all of. I just want her to be like so comfortable in her own skin.
That's right.
And I will say she is largely that.
Awesome.
Unabashedly, unashamedly. This is who I am, and that's okay. And she's happy, when she's not doing homework. She's happy.
I think every child's happy.
That's good.
And she has so many joys and passions in her life, and as long as I can keep her staying connected to those things, I'm good. Yeah.
And it seemed like you have it. It seemed like you guys are already there. The conversations that we're having, and even you being, you kind of look different to me than the typical mom, the typical parent that I dealt with in my past, working with children with special needs. They were seemed depressed, very timid. The self-esteem wasn't there. And it seemed like you're just confident in her. Like, you already know she's going to be good.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
That's the biggest shift. The biggest shift was for me, like, I realized that my child was okay when I was okay with my child. Being okay. So right?
Yes.
And that was really an aha moment for me. Now, do we have ups and downs?
Of course.
A lot.
Yeah.
Does she tell me she hates me? Is she telling me she wants to like cut my head off and dribble my head like a basketball? Yes, she does.
True Sarah.
She said, and my response to that,
I might use that.
I would say, okay, good to know. Tell me why. What would that look like?
Wow.
And then who would make you dinner? You know what I mean? Like all of these things. And
you guys have real conversations.
Yeah.
We have real conversations, and there is no, I grew up in a household where, we didn't talk about things. We didn't talk about periods. We didn't talk about, didn't, it was just a very, strict conservative, household that I grew up in. So I have this opportunity now to just have these authentic, transparent, vulnerable conversations with my 13-year-old child all day. I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
so
I can imagine that's grown you in a way also.
Yes, I have grown. It has been a parallel journey, without question.
And your kids push you to that growth, because if you want your kids to thrive, it's like they make you step up. You have to. if you want them to be successful.
Well, that's true, but I will say some parents don't step up, you know, and so that maybe is the difference. And you were talking about other parents who seem depressed and all, and that was my case as well. Like, I was depressed for years. I could not get out of bed. I was on antidepressants, multiple meds. I mean, I had such horrible depression. Like, I was down in the deep, dark abyss of debilitating anxiety and depression.
Wow. So what was your realization moment? Like, I got to get out of this. This is not helping any of us.
Yes. I simply was like, this is not why I was put here on this earth, to be miserable. And so I have to find joy somehow, even though this is my situation. Back then I was like, this is my lot in life. You know, I was so woe is me, down in the dumps, and I really didn't know how else to be. But at some point you're just like, but I want to be happy.
Right.
I want to have a thriving life. I want to do something for myself. I don't want to just be my child's caretaker for the rest of my life. That is not what I wanted.
That's right.
So I remember telling God, like, you have to do something because you created me as your vessel on this earth. So figure it out. Tell me what to do, tell me where to go, put me in touch with the right people, but you have to do it because I am not here.
That was the moment.
That's
You
what
know?
he needs. That's what he loves.
And I believe that he is a benevolent God. He's not going to judge me and, you know, all of this.
But a lot of times too are right, and then your sorrow, he uses your sorrow for your purpose. Yeah. And once you came to that realization, like, I created this daughter for you. Yes. And for you to have a mission on this earth and the purpose, and it created you being this life coach, and who's to say how it will be a domino effect in a good way to open up opportunities and doors and things like that. You know. So we're
look where I am now. I'm on the couch.
You're on the couch. Yes.
Share your wonderful journey. And I just feel like I'm just a part of it.
I've made it.
I love it. You know. Thank you so much.
1 minute.
Hey, 1 minute.
So what advice can you give a single mom who's dealing with a child with special needs? What encouragement can they take away from our conversation today?
Okay, so I would say that there is always hope. There is always a little bit of joy that you can find in any moment of any day. So to take and find those moments, and I consider this to be real self-care, like emotional self-care. So tap into whatever you can do for yourself. That will just give you a little bit of a boost. Anything, a walk around the block, anything, to write something in a journal, listen to amazing music that inspires you to get up and dance, whatever it is, do that every single day. Like a tiny little thing, maybe it's 2 minutes of something. Keep doing that. Be grateful for the things that you do have that are going well, because gratitude attracts, okay, period. Secondly, thirdly, fourthly, fifthly, find your tribe. Really find your tribe. I had to lean on my girlfriends so much early on, and especially after my marriage crumbled and I no longer had that partner, and I just asked for help. I asked for friends to come over, and you know, my child now has like so many aunties in her life who take care of her, you know, really. And that has been great for her. It's been great for me. It's such support. So find 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter how many people. Just find people that can be part of your tribe, and you have to build it.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Well, before we go though, I would love the opportunity to give you the opportunity to let our viewers know where they can find you on social media and what things you are involved in the community, so we can look you up.
Okay, great.
Because we don't want it to stop here.
Yes,
we want to continue to support Susanna in her mission in the community of special needs.
Yes, great. And I want to be a support to everybody, all my fellow special needs families as well. So my website pretty much has really a lot of information, and it's www.susannapeacelovell.com. It's SusannaPeaceLovell.com. IG, I'm at Mama Peace, MAMAPEACE. And you know, I coach families. I can do consulting with companies. I do all kinds of fun stuff. But really, my big labor of love, which I've just completed and is launched now, is my new online course called Life Management for Special Needs Families, an ultimate resource guide for creating a thriving life.
That's great.
And I wanted to share everything that I learned along the way, because I had to coach myself to a place of feeling worthy of, living again, really, for myself, so that I could be there for my child and be an inspiration to her. So that course is available on teachable.com, and you can find that information on my website as well.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is amazing. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you
the
for
Powder
having me.
Show.
Yeah.
I'm sure our viewers have so much to take away from, you know?
Yes.
I'm sure they have so much to take away from. So we love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next time.
Bye.